All my best friends are boys. I cannot handle girl drama.
I'm not like other girls. I hate makeup.
I have ambition. I don't want to be a housewife.
I'm really low maintenance. I don't take 3 hours to get ready like Richa.
What's a primer?
Stop crying like a girl.
I don't count my calories.
Oh my god, she dated 3 guys this year. She's such a slut.
I don't get those girls who are obsessed with their careers. Family is also important.
Contouring क्या होता है यार?
Shut up mom. What do you know about finances?
Salad कौन खाता है?
वो कुछ ज़्यादा feminism नहीं करती. I don't know. I'm an equalist. Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of GirlsFeed, and we're officially more than halfway through the season. Yay! And today we're thinking about all the times we've said awful stuff to and about other women, especially things like, I'm not like other girls, I just wear jeans, she wears short skirts, I wear sneakers, Taylor Swift, I'm looking at you. But like we've all done this. So yeah, Sumaira.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you did in school.
Awful things. So I went to a girls' school. So we're all it's great.
Cesspool of internalized misogyny.
Exactly. So there was this one girl who I would like to apologize today to, because people went out of their way to make rumors about her, make up stories about her, and a lot of those stories were started by her ex-boyfriend. This is what it was about. She said she likes it, and that was the rumor, that she enjoys whatever I do to her, and we all had to now spread it to the whole school, and she didn't understand why that is a problem, and now I get it. Now I'm so angry at everyone who tried to make this a sensational story. So it's one awful thing that I've done. It was just that she genuinely likes me, and
likes me.
yeah,
likes
and she genuinely likes holding
it.
hands,
Yeah.
and she genuinely
I like holding hands.
So recently when this friend of mine, she quit her very successful career in Mumbai and then she chose to get married and she moved to a much smaller town instead. I said things like, oh, she's giving up on herself, or oh, she's spineless, not to her face obviously, but I did say those things. So I'm still dealing with it. I have a lot of biases that I'm trying to get over.
I also had a friend who got married very early, and I remember asking her 1,000 times, are you sure? I'm really happy for you, but are you sure? And she said, this is it, this is my life, this is what I chose. And now that she is married, she says, you know, I deal with multiple problems that you don't even understand the gravity of. That made me realize that bias, I think.
I happened to tag my friend saying that हाँ इसको तो मतलब सिर्फ लड़कों को use करके throw करना है. She got hurt, but then she never expressed because she considers me, and we are close friends.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for that. I really feel apologetic.
Some of the meanest things I've said in my lifetime have been to my female bosses, which I want to apologize for. I constantly felt oh, she's older, oh, she's in her 40s, her good days are behind her. She just likes to bully women. Again, now I feel terrible, but back then if she was being assertive, I'd be oh, that's an argument. So I feel that I also kind of adhere to that whole system, and I kind of really, I'm sorry, all bosses.
This is an apology to her for all the awful stuff we've done, yes. In school, I used to slut shame girls a lot, and just pass unnecessary remarks about the length of their skirts and why they're wearing sleeveless. And now I look back at it and I realize that I wanted that. I wanted my own skirt to be short and I wanted to wear strappy tops. So I would just, because of sheer jealousy, just put other girls down and never say things to their faces, but just say really awful stuff like she's desperate and she's doing this for attention, and just really, really terrible things that I just want to apologize for to everyone.
I remember one of the worst things that was said about me was, again, rumors spread by boys in school. The easiest way to say it was that it was an indecent move at the age of 9, 10. And I said no, and I freaked out, I ran away crying. I find out some 15, 16 years later that this person told all the boys in our batch that, oh, that girl, she really wanted me and I said no, and she's actually a big fat slut. And I was like, Okay. And then once I started working at my job, he sent me a friend request and I denied it. Nice. So who wins?
So back in school, I wasn't wearing a bra when other girls my age were. I'd wear a ganji or a banyan underneath my school uniform for the longest time. And this one day I didn't go to school. A bunch of my classmates, some of whom were my closest friends, got into this intense bitching session about me, where they said a lot of mean things about me, including slut-shaming me for not wearing a bra. मतलब है नहीं तो क्या पहनूं? तो
Many people tell me that, you know, साड़ी पहन के आ जाओ यार, तुम साड़ी में बहुत अच्छी दिखती हो. यार लड़कियां ना साइकिल नहीं चलाती यार. झुमके पहन के कौन साइकिल चलाता है? मैं चलाऊं.
झुमके पहन के साइकिल.
Too much.
These are such specific insults that make zero sense. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this.
I feel like in school, since I was in a girls' school, there was a lot of slut shaming. But then I went to tuition classes where suddenly there was like a co-ed form of like, suddenly a lot of boys are there. There I discovered another kind of shaming, which is the Virgin Mary shaming, where if you've not done anything, you're shamed for that.
Oh, so you're a slut but also Virgin Mary.
Like imagine a world where this exact conversation happens and someone comes up to you and is like, are you really a slut? And then you're like, yeah, and then you all hug and like celebrate it. Like that would be a fun flip.
That's my equation now with all my friends. Like, congratulations, hoes.
We did it.
We did it. A lot of us have discussed shaming, like individual shaming and shaming by our peers. Yeah. But one thing that comes to mind is shaming our family members, like the auntie brigade or even our moms, for example, in memes or in conversations or the way we address women of a certain age.
My aunt is 54 and she is plus size, and she always had the desire of singing or doing something creative. So she joined Kathak, okay? And no men were in support. And in that situation, she was expecting that the women would come and stand for her. So she was always put down, but still she came out of it.
She was 54 and she was learning a whole new skill.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
My older sister is plus size and has always been. And I have grown up bullying her. Like I would like join forces with my mom and dad and bully her. And like now I feel like I was so terrible and I would like to apologize deeply. Sorry.
And that's important to remember, right? Like we all have internalized misogynistic values, but those who have to bear the brunt of it are those who are most different when compared to us, or those who have less privilege than us. So it could be queer women, or Dalit women, or Muslim women, or older women, or disabled women. We're quicker to jump to conclusions about them because we don't know a lot about them.
The problem is, where does this misogyny come from? My biggest problem is pop culture, for example. Movies, the movies we watch, everything, it all starts there, right? Like not just shaming, but also like dividing girls into two halves.
Cocktail is really classic example of doing it.
Yes.
Where I
Veronica and Meera.
Yeah. But you see how Veronica then tried wearing that red shalwar kameez just because Saif should look at her and think, "Acha, tu bhi to ban sakti hai bride." I forgot about that.
If it's not this, it's me against every other girl. मैं उन लड़कियों की तरह नहीं हूँ. You know, Geet in Jab We Met, for example.
Like in movies itself, boys are telling girls कि तू दूसरों जैसी नहीं है, तू भोली है, तू बहुत innocent है, which is almost predatory to me when I see it, because I can always see that boy seeing that girl as an opportunity to exploit and manipulate. So he's like, नहीं बचा के रख अपनी innocence because I will fuck you up later. That's why.
Apart from these movies, we also have the Saas Bahu serials that run in every family, where ek bahu Sakhi Savitri, whereas the other bahu is
Nagin.
Straight up Nagin.
And very nicely they would show it, you know, that she's turning into a Nagin. So yeah, I mean, that's very sad.
And I also cringe when I see tomboys on screen because we're reduced to caricatures. We're just waiting for the right man to grow our hair out so he can find us desirable. Yeah. What also freaks me out is there's going to be this nerdy girl, right? And she takes off her glasses and she's instantly transformed into this stereotypically hot woman. How is it happening? I'm still the same person except now I can't see.
women are shaped by extreme tragedy or by heartbreak, but men are shaped by women in their lives. So like basically like all these, you know, the manic pixie dream girl trope, right? Like, oh, I'm so happy-go-lucky, I don't have a job, I don't have anything to do, but I'm just here to change your life because I have zero shits to give about my own. Like, do you guys remember Dil To Pagal Hai, Dance of Envy? Oh, guys, no, there was this whole like dance showdown between Karishma and Madhuri, okay, for Shah Rukh. Okay, like Madhuri is just rehearsing and then Karishma joins her and then they become like, you know, like this, and then they are, you know, they're having a dance off, and then in the middle it's just like, I am here to show you कि Rahul सिर्फ मेरा है, and she's like, bro, it's okay, Rahul मेरा already हो चुका है.
So it's a literal competition for.
And Rahul is just standing there like, who did Rahul choose? Nice.
Madhuri, no?
Madhuri. The reason Rahul obviously later chose Madhuri is because she was docile enough.
Marriage material.
Yeah, she was marriage material, exactly. And that's the thing, right? Like these women later, they become friends. They're like, "Haan yaar, sorry, I hurt your feelings that day. I became jealous. I was a dick." And she's like, "No, it's totally chill." And like, I wanted to know more about their friendship, but there was one scene. There was one scene where they both patch up, and that's it. Female friendships do not have a space in Indian cinema. Even in movies like Veeri the Wedding, which was supposedly about female friendships, at the end they all fall out because they are fighting over one person's boyfriend.
Even Made in Heaven, for instance, has this whole dynamic between Kalki's character and Shobita's character, who start off as really good friends, and then Jim Sarb's character is in the middle. Like, why do we always have to look at female friendships from a male gaze? Why can it not just be from within, where we are supporting one another, or we are chastising also one another, like but like still have our best interests at heart?
And there's a lot of content depicting male friendships versus not enough content depicting female friendships. So right from like Anand, Sholay, Munna Bhai, MBBS, Kai Poche, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, the examples are endless. And like the characters seem real, the emotions that they're dealing with are raw, and like they always have each other's backs. So there's this American comic called Kelly Sue DeConnick, and she suggests replacing female characters with a sexy lamp, and then seeing if the story still works. Female characters.
Karishma and Madhuri as two sexy lamps doing Dance of Envy like this.
How male writers write female friendship, it's disgusting to watch, because for them, they don't know what to do in that space. So they put them like into, I don't know, cute frocks. I don't know what they do. They dance on Pia Pia. I don't know what do females do with each other.
Pillow fighting.
Yeah, they do pillow fighting.
In their towels constantly.
It's very like, no, that's not what it is about.
Like in my life, I've had mostly female friends. But I know a lot of people who've actually said this to me, where they're like, oh, that's so cute, you have so many female friends, that's so nice. You know, I don't have that many female friends because, you know, women are just like so much drama. How do you handle that? Did any of y'all have that issue where you're like, no, girls are too much drama?
I remember in school, I used to say this and I would be like, it's so much easier to be friends with boys because there's no drama. And like, you don't have to talk about your feelings and all. And like, that is just categorically celebrated when you're growing up. You can't talk about your feelings, you can't cry. If you cry, you're being a girl. Boys can't cry because then it's just like, ऐसे क्यों रो रहा है? Man up, don't be a wuss.
The most ridiculous sentence that I've ever heard in my life, which was something my friend told me, was like, it's better to have males as your friend, is because they become like the protective figure in that friendship, and that's how. And she was a girl who told me this.
Can we list down why is it better to have a male friend? First of all, they don't have pads on them.
They're completely useless.
They're completely useless.
Hey babes.
What the hell, Rahul? You're 2.5 hours late.
This. Exactly this. This is the reason I'm breaking up with you, Shona. तुम्हारे चिक-चिक से तंग आ चुका हूँ मैं यार. हर चीज में इतनी ड्रामा करने की क्या जरूरत है? मैं आ तो गया ना.
एक मिनट.
नो ड्रामा बामा, सबसे वर्स्ट सिचुएशंस में भी आप रहिए पूरी तरह सुरक्षित। जापानीज टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ हम आपके इमोशंस इजीली गले में सील कर सकते हैं।
हाँ तो तुमने मुझे इसीलिए यहाँ बुलाया।
हाँ, I don't know why I waited so long to tell you, yaar. My feelings were over for you the day I hooked up with your cousin. But then I thought, nahi, she's just been fired from a job and I'm not gonna cause you more stress because I'm a nice guy. वैसे भी it was just the day after I broke your expensive वाली foundation की bottle and blamed it on your cat because I didn't want to hurt you, okay? Why? Because I'm a nice guy. पर फिर तुम weight gain करने लगी और मेरे friends ने भी कहा, पता है, we never liked her anyway. तुम उस चुड़ैल को छोड़ क्यों नहीं देती? पर मैंने कहा no. I'm the only good thing in her life right now. But then जब मैंने तुम्हारे बिल्ली को बाहर छोड़ दिया ताकि तुम उसके पीछे भागो और थोड़ी कार्डियो हो जाए तुम्हारी, तो तुम उसको भी नहीं पकड़ पाई। पता नहीं कहाँ होगी बेचारी। देखो अब रोना मत यार। Honestly, Shauna, your feelings are always all over the place. How can you start crying for every little thing, yaar? I can't have a girl in my life who does so much drama, okay? That's why I'm glad that my parents have found a nice girl for me. I'm getting engaged tomorrow. पर मैं two timing नहीं करता, ठीक है? I'm not that type of a guy. So there, we are done. I'm free and so are you.
अरे congrats bro, another man down. भाभी को खुश रखना।
ब्रेकअप हो या कैजुअल वर्कप्लेस सेक्सिज्म, हम गारंटी करते हैं एक ड्रामा फ्री एक्सपीरियंस। साइड इफेक्ट्स में इंक्लूड रिगर्जिटेटिंग योर फीलिंग्स बिकॉज कहीं से तो बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। So guys, as much as we've bashed pop culture for being anti-woman and pitting women against each other, I think there's the other side of pop culture, which is the internet. Like I've now run out of compliments to leave on my best friend's Instagrams because how many times will I say Yas Queen because you're always beautiful, man.
It's just incessantly mari daloge. Just like to everybody is just that, yeah.
Just it's so nice.
It's so wholesome.
One major task was getting a passport done, which was a huge task for me because I had to get all my documents changed and everything.
It's just a harrowing process.
Yes, and for me it is because they consider me as a special case where they don't know what are the procedures. Yes, and it's quite upsetting that it's just a passport which
you're entitled to it as a citizen.
Yes, but this one girl, she would just say that I'm there with you. Ho jayega. So that really matters, that feeling of, you know, having a girlfriend with you.
Also, a lot of shows and movies that we see today, there's this whole change of like what women can't find in love, they find in friendships. Yeah. And a lot of, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for everyone, but I personally feel like most of my adult life, I feel like I've benefited more from my female friends than from my loving relationship.
So the other benefit of the internet is that not only does it allow us to celebrate each other as female friends, but also like women from across the world and across like intersections, right? Like for example, very recently, NASA took that picture of a black hole. And one of the best things that came out of that, which of course the black hole was amazing, but the mathematician who actually came up with the algorithm, if I'm not mistaken, to take the picture, and they were like, okay, do not forget this woman. And I'm like, that's what the internet is for, to remind me that there are women across spectrums and across nations and across continents who are killing it. And some of these can actually be my role models, you know. Like one person I look up to, and I know this may be like a slightly generic answer, but one person I look up to as someone who's like lived on the internet all her life was Lily Singh. She spoke up about her depression. She worked through her depression by being funny, through comedy, by just creating stuff on the internet and then making a space for Indian women to be funny and be themselves on the internet. And I love that, and she was someone I looked up to. Who are your female role models who you think like, okay, I need to celebrate them all the time?
Tina Fey, but mostly because the kind of career trajectory she's had, and I really look up to that. And also, everything she touches is gold. So I'm like, I love Tina Fey.
Yeah.
And also Amy Poehler. Both of them, they go together.
Dude, they're also friendship goals.
Yeah.
Right, friendship.
For me, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Kate McKinnon, all funny women somehow are like my role models, and I just want to be them and learn so much from them. So yeah, I love all women. They're all role models for me.
Some of the main lawyers who were who were fighting for the right to privacy in India and who were fighting for Section 377 to be repealed. Some of those lawyers were women. These people I look up to every day. Karuna Nandi, Indira Jaising, these women who are literally fighting for our rights every day. I love them.
This senior editor at The Wire, her name's Arfa Khanum Sherwani. I really like her. I like a lot of things about her. I like her command over Urdu and Hindi. I like how sensitive and nuanced her reporting is. She's one of my role models. Then there's Janelle Monáe. I love everything about her. Yeah, I love her music. Her aesthetic is popping. She's so authentic. She owns being... Yeah, she owns being black, she owns being queer, she owns being a woman, she owns being an artist, and that's something, that's something that I look up to in her.
I have this one woman, which many of us might not know her, but yes, she is a role model to me for several reasons, of course. Her name is Mona Ambegaonkar. She is a
She's a Marathi
television
actress,
and film actress.
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason I adore her and I consider her as a role model is because she's a single mother. She goes to all the remote areas of our country and educate people through her skit and whatever the best way possible by getting all harsh comments from the audience, and that really inspires me and I really consider her as one of my role models.
The women who impacted my life in the past 1.5 years would be Sumukhi Suresh. She's on the internet, she's a comic. She also wrote Pushpavali and I wrote with her. The reason why she's impacted my personal life a lot is because I had a major loss in the past 1 year. And I wanted to give up comedy and I wanted to quit everything. And Sumukhi was the only one who reacted very strongly, and I remember that moment. But she was like, if I'm in your life, I'll make sure you get over it. And make sure you come back to work tomorrow. And the working environment then that was created in that writer's room for me was where I was allowed to break down, I was allowed to cry, and it was fine. They were very supportive, all my writers.
Exactly, inviting empathy.
Yeah.
And like allowing those feelings to exist and helping you write
Yes.
those.
I feel like the world is too harsh a place. We need to be softer with ourselves and with others. So like traditionally feminine qualities like being nurturing, being emotionally expressive, being a team player. I feel like everyone should aspire to inculcate these qualities. It's unfair that the burden of femininity falls solely on the shoulders of women. Like take for example the case of South African athlete Caster Semenya, right? She's been declared as unfit to participate because the testosterone in her blood exceeds an arbitrarily set limit. So now they're telling her she's not woman enough to like participate. And that's happened to our Indian athletes too. There's Santi Soundararajan, Pinky Pramanik, Duti Chand.
It's ridiculous, and that's the thing, right? Like femininity gets defined by other people for us, and we all have our own definitions of femininity.
Many times people tell me that, you know, yaar dance karo, explore your femininity. That is not femininity for me. For me, it is just being who I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn exactly what my femininity is to me, but I feel like it all, for me as a person, boils down to being kind. And just being kind to everyone in the world and being a good person, but also being angry, asking questions, shutting things down. Like just fully realizing yourself as an individual and being who you are very authentically.
I'm also still figuring out how do I define my femininity, but most of it's about like knowing your own emotions. Like in the last couple of years, I'm finding a new vocabulary for it. So I feel like that is kind of changing.
For me, in the recent years, it has been like I have to, no matter what the other person has to tell me that, oh, this is, you're asking for this particular, this is your need because you're a woman. I don't care about that anymore. I will just ask for whatever I want because I want it. So I'm not scared to demand for things anymore. So expressing my needs and my desires as a person is something that I'm learning to do in the recent.
I was a Taekwondo black belt when I was younger. I was actively practicing martial arts. So that could mean being feminine. It could mean anything. But yeah, those traditional qualities of being emotionally expressive and nurturing and being a team player, they define femininity for me.
For me also, it's about vulnerability, but my idea of vulnerability is connecting with people, using that vulnerability, just like sitting down and being like, you know what, I am human, you're human, and I want to understand how you're feeling right now. And that's a lot of what femininity is to me, is that you're feeling things and that's fine.
Like, I feel like in school, they should like tell children that life is a suffering. We are all gonna die. So in the meantime, can we just chill, relax, listen to each other, be kind to one another, support one another, and just make the most of whatever time you have, because anyway you're gonna die and it's gonna be pointless. I'm being very vulnerable right now. These are all of my feelings.
Everyone, please.
This is the entirety of my feelings.
These are all, now this is a feeling circle,
Yep.
guys. So guys, after all these feelings and intense female affection that we are all feeling towards each other, we are now all friends. And that's it. This is a wrap. We're all going to go have dinner together. Bye from GirlsFeed. That wasn't me. Yes, queen! Oh my god, I finally read the book you told me to.
I finally watched the show you told me about.
It changed my life. Do you want to get food?
Oh my god, I saw this meme.
This made me think of you.
I haven't gotten laid in forever.
You need to get on Tinder and start swiping.
Do you just want to come over and sit quietly together?
Did you reach home?
You deserve this promotion.
You should get it.
Is everything okay?
This lipstick looks so good on you.
Dump him.
Dump him!
Dump him!
Dump him.
Dump him.